Welcome to Food Fun, sponsored by Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. I'm your host, Matt Dominguez. We are here at the From Scratch facilities located at 401 Victoria Avenue. And so what we do is we take a recipe from the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook and we cook it with a special guest. Today's guest is Premier Brad Wall. Let's introduce him here. Premier Brad Wall.
Matt, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm excellent. Happy to be here.
Hey, so what did you decide? What are we cooking today?
We're going to make a skillet pot roast with cherries and an Oakland Raider apple crisp.
That sounds outstanding. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right, let's get our aprons on. All right, so that's all. That was all six cups. Good.
Yeah, this is 6 cups. Carefully measured.
Carefully measured. I find the oats, brown sugar, flour, and cinnamon. So we got
the oats.
Oats right here.
I think it's all measured out. How many? Yeah. How much does it say we need? Because people are going to want to make Oakland Raider apple crisp at home.
Oakland Raider apple crisp. Yes. So half cup of the regular oats. All right. So we also need
brown sugar.
Half cup, a 4th cup all-purpose flour.
Combine apples and granulated sugar.
Boom.
Transfer to 1.5 to 2 quart square baking dish.
This guy's intelligent. He's reading ahead. 1/4 teaspoon. Ground cinnamon, ginger, or nutmeg, but we're gonna go with the cinnamon.
Yeah,
and 4th cup all-purpose flour. So
I'm gonna do a little bit more than the 4.
There you go. It's just guidelines.
Yeah.
Got good flour here.
We're gonna stir this up. We're gonna mash this up a bit.
Mash it up. Yeah. Those are 2 separate things, right? So
yeah. This is our first time trying to make something together. We made Oakland Raider apple crisp for the 12th time.
Yeah. Well, by then it'll take us, it'll take us no less than 15 minutes. Boom, 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 we're done.
Yeah. All right. Should we put this in?
So I think we're good to go with that.
How many minutes?
35 to 40 minutes based on looks. All right. So we're jumping right into.
Let's do it. Skillet roast with mushrooms and cherries.
All right. So we use 3 cups of 3 cups mushrooms. And a cup of strips as well.
Man, I like that you've taken the time in between helping to build the economy and moving the real estate market to chop up all this stuff.
Hey, you know what? I gotta say, it's the good people here from scratch that are helping us with this.
I thought the chopping was pretty good.
It's way more delicate and intricate than I could ever do.
It's almost like a professional.
Yeah.
My mushrooms don't ever look.
No. I get a little more oil in there. There we go. Roll it down. Roll it down. A little bit of beef juice? Yeah, let's do that too. Let's get that in there as well.
That's beef stock? Oh, there we go.
Already smelling better.
I'm going to turn this down now.
Yeah. 2 teaspoons of sage.
And 2 teaspoons. Is that a little more than 2 teaspoons?
All right, let's see. Some vinegar. Everything's going in now.
Get hit with balsamic fumes. I've been a good.
There would be a meme. There'll be
I've
something.
been a good nickname. When you were just destroying secondaries.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
I'm going to get your hand.
Give it about 10 years. Little Matt's coming through. We have different terminology. That particular terminology were we actually had names for things. So Pearl and Dakota and Cali and things like that. Yeah, get a shot of this.
This looks pretty good. Look at that. This looks a lot better than the apple crisp. We've already.
The apple crisp is gonna, it's gonna do its thing. The apple crisp, right now, I think that hey, it's the journey. It's the journey, we're talking about the journey with apple crisp. We just 10 minutes. 10 minutes like simmer uncovered. 10 minutes. He doesn't even go in.
Here, let's try.
No, I'm not. I'm also not the other side of it either. I'm not a.
We're doing that. Try it.
There you go.
Let's try to make it quick. Let's give it a go.
Boom. All right, back with Premier Wall as we let the apple crisp cool.
But that's not our apple crisp, man. You and I know that. I don't know what happened. Someone came in here and replaced our excellent apple crisp with that.
Yeah, it seems like it's been tampered with a little bit. Yeah.
Andy Chick.
John Chick, yeah, he might have been the guy.
We think we would have noticed it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes you just hey, the more ice cream you put on top, the better it is. Sometimes, right? So we'll get to that in a little bit here. So I got a couple quick questions I'd like to ask you. What can we see for our province in terms of things for our economy, agriculture, those types of things?
Here's the good news, Matt. The fastest growing part of the world is Asia, and they want food security and they want energy security. And that's what Saskatchewan has to offer, whether it's oil or uranium or fertilizer for the food or the food itself we grow. And this is why I think people should be hopeful, notwithstanding what happens with the price of oil. Oil's a big part of it, but in the last 7 years, this economy, people like you, Matt, entrepreneurs, have created 70,000 new jobs. Less than 10% came from natural resources.
Wow.
The rest came from other sectors because we're diversifying. With respect to Asia, consider these numbers. We're in India. It's the 1.3 billion people, I think, now. So 60% of all of the lentils they import come from Saskatchewan.
Right here.
Not Canada.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan.
Right here, this province.
About the same percentage of peat come from Saskatchewan. Think of Japan. Japan, they like their beer in Japan. Sapporo beer is a big number. 3% of all their malting barley comes from just our province. And people might say, well, 3% is a big number, but it's 3% of the Japanese beer market.
Absolutely.
20% plus of canola in that country. Canola seeds higher. Same in China. And if you get 20% of China's anything, that is a big deal.
Big chunk, big chunk.
Peas are the same way in China. So people should be hopeful. Of India's imports from our country, from Canada, 35 to 40% come from Saskatchewan. 3% of the population, 40% of the exports to India. It's food and it's fertilizer. The same numbers in Indonesia, fast-growing country. Anyway, it's an area we must focus on. They want a government-to-government relationship, so we do the trade missions. But companies come along, and Saskatchewan's doing very, very well in Asia, and so we're going to keep focusing on that because that gives us a chance to diversify our exports.
Absolutely.
What are we actually talking about in terms of the initiative?
Well, a focus of ours has been the disabled, the disability sector, so to speak. So, for example, when early on in our government, we found that there were about 440 people with intellectual disabilities who are waiting for a group home space or program.
Yeah.
Sometimes parents are waiting for a respite program. So we applied $40 million towards eliminating that wait list.
Okay.
And we did. Now others have come on to the list, and so it's a process, not an event. We got to keep up and are working hard to do it. But I guess my point is we want Saskatchewan to grow, but growth's not the end game. The end game is a tax base that can provide another $40 million so we can say someone with an intellectual disability deserves a group home space. They should have one. We should be able to provide that.
All right, so switching gears a little bit here. We go back a long ways, you and I. So my question for you, in terms of Saskatchewan Rough Rider football, you were the premier, 5 minutes, and we won a Grey Cup? I mean, how does it feel being the premier of what I like to deem the green age of Rough Rider football, in the sense of we've been successful, into the playoffs, Grey Cups. Like, how does it feel to be the guy that has been a part of this as well?
And the answer to your question is, it is hard to explain. It is surreal. I remember being with then Mayor Pat Fiacco and our Deputy Premier Ken Kravets, who's just a big Riders fan, and a good friend of mine who works as well close to me, and he's a huge Riders fan. And it was just surreal.
Yeah.
You guys won the, and you said earlier in the segment, well, you weren't, you got hurt. Yeah. That was your team. I mean, they got there because of the amazing season you were having and everyone else. So, man, I can't explain it. It was, I'd be lying if I said there weren't tears.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back to taste this apple crisp. This is pretty good.
I know, it's delicious.
Cheers, man. Cheers. Cheers to this. Boom. A big thank you to Premier Brad Wall. I appreciate you coming to cook it.
It's a lot of fun.
Cooking with us. You want the recipes for the skillet pot roast with mushroom and cherries, or the apple crisp?
Oakland Raider apple crisp.
Oakland Raider apple crisp. That's correct. Go to the FromScratchKitchen.com or Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Prairie View, and we'll see you next time. Appreciate you showing up.